How many times have you noticed some things in India just don't need to be explained? At the Kumbh, millions of strangers somehow know how to move together. At a village festival, people instinctively know what needs to be done. During elections, across villages, towns, and cities, communities come together to make democracy work. No one hands out a manual, and yet somehow it works. Which makes you wonder, what is it that people already know? What are the invisible norms, values, relationships, and shared understandings that make a society function? Because governance doesn't begin with policy. It begins with people, with the way a society trusts, cooperates, organizes itself, and imagines the common good. Every society has its own answers to these questions, its own history, its own institutions, its own civilizational memory, which is why a policy that succeeds in one society may struggle in another. Not because the policy is necessarily flawed, but because societies are different, and governance cannot be separated from the people it seeks to govern. This is the idea behind culture-compatible public policy, the belief that institutions are most effective when they are designed with a deep understanding of the society they serve, not by abandoning contemporary knowledge, not by romanticizing the past, but by asking better questions. How do India's civilizational traditions help us think differently about institutions? What can Indian knowledge systems contribute to questions of governance and statecraft today? How do we design policies that are context relevant, culture compatible, and built for India's realities? These are not just academic questions. They are questions that shape how institutions earn trust, how policies endure, and how nations flourish. That is what Niti Vidhana is about, an offering by Brihat. Niti Vidhana brings together civilizational thought, IKS, and contemporary governance to cultivate a new generation of policy thinkers, grounded in India's realities, engaged with global ideas, committed to building institutions that work because they understand the society they serve. For policymakers, civil servants, researchers, entrepreneurs, students, for everyone who believes the future of governance lies not in choosing between tradition and modernity, but in bringing context, culture, and civilization back into the conversation. Niti Vidhana, context relevant, culture compatible, and civilizationally informed.